Catfish, hit him with it.
Skibbity bop ba doo bop ba doo ba doo ba. The Come Up TV. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to TCU TV. My name is Catfish Swagger Jacker. I am joined with the owner, the proprietor, the boss man, Adam Grand Mason, and we have two very good-looking guests with us, Mr. J. Rowe and Mr. Calvin Kosovich.
Heyo.
What's up?
How you doing?
Welcome to the store, boys. How's it going?
Good, thanks. How you doing?
Excellent. Yeah. Just cracked into this Tecate that you gave me, so I'm feeling pretty good about that.
Yeah, it's just a Dolomite.
Every night.
We have some champagne if you guys are interested in some champagne.
Yeah, the bottle's looking pretty empty, actually.
Well, yeah, it's huge in width. So.
What did you celebrate?
We got this from our YouTube network for hitting 300,000 subscribers, which is kind of a weird reason to get champagne, right? But here we are.
Shout out to YouTube.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, we got Kink Bicycles. We got a little bit of Kink team here.
Yeah, and we were just having a fascinating conversation about some shit storm that Jay's been embroiled in. You guys want to just jump right into that?
Jesus, that's all it is. Our life is
That
a shit
really
storm.
needed to come out.
You guys want to just do this right away? I feel like it would probably be fun, right?
Yeah.
We're good?
No, yeah, we're fine.
We're good?
It sounds weird in my headphones, but that's a personal problem.
All right, let's talk. Let's go to the beginning. We'd like to start at the beginning before we delve into the deep.
Oh, okay. We're going to go all the way back. Yeah.
We like to go all the way back to give some perspective.
Right.
What's your guys' history in BMX?
Well, I'm from Rochester, New York. Grew up where Kink's from, and basically since the day I realized Kink was out of Rochester, it was like that was my shit. I loved it. Rode everything Kink for like pretty much rode a Kink frame since the day I started riding, like got a real bike. Took a job in the warehouse when I was like 19, and from there, here we are.
Climbed up the ladder.
Doing podcasts.
There you go.
So you lived in Rochester and rode as a kid for a while before you realized that Kink was located out of there?
Yeah. Like I'm from Penfield, New York, which is like 10, 15 minutes outside downtown Rochester. And before, at that time I thought I was the only guy in New York riding a BMX bike. And started getting all the magazines, and when the magazines started coming around, I was like such a BMX nerd, like so passionate about it. Like I knew all the addresses of all the fucking companies and shit like that. Reading all the news, everything. I was just like super into it. It's like really took like outside of like just like dudes shredding and doing tricks, I was super into like how this was all happening, like the industry side of things. I took like an interest in the BMX industry like really young for some reason,
Right.
And basically, when I realized Kink was in Rochester, I had like my one of my friends at the time that could drive. I couldn't even drive yet. Bring me down to like the outside the warehouse, and I like saw the stickers on the door and shit, and was just like, what the fuck, And from that point on, was like, this is it. Like this is what I'm going to be doing. Like I have to work here. I have to. Like what else?
Do you remember your first ride cover? Like the first issue ride you got, and what was on the cover? I feel like that like helps people set the date.
I really don't, but the Brakeless Revolution cover.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Will Tobin.
Joey Cobb's on the cover.
Joey Cobb's.
So
yeah.
Cobb's is doing a foot jam
on the brick tranny.
And then shortly after that, I went to Woodward Camp, and Cobb's was the first dude I saw, bro. Woodward East. He's from fucking Torrance or something like. And he was just manualing down to Bud's barn while my parents like dropping me off in my like Harl shredder, and it was just like, what is that? Like that was the like. And honestly, since that point, since that like weird randomness of like the Brakeless Revolution cover to seeing him, my entire BMX like life has been stuff like that, just like weird connections.
See, but it had to be crazy for you back then because like you realizing it at such an early age that BMX, the community is so small.
It was immediately the West Coast was at Woodward East. Like to me, it was like Joey Cobb's and like those guys that were in that issue, especially pushing brakeless riding at the time so early. Was like these guys like brakeless West Coast streeters. Like I knew nothing about that. I'm riding like indoor wooden skate parks every day after school and shit.
But did BMX seem small to you then? Because I don't remember thinking it seemed small at the time. Even though when you think about it now, you're like, wow, it's such a small industry. And
at the time, like the racing was in the magazine still. Yeah, so it was like because I didn't start racing, which is like weird. A lot of people my age like started out racing, and I never got it. I was never into it at all. So. Once like rides started to become like the more like the Bible of BMX at the time, was like, oh shit, like this is like people are doing road trips in other countries and stuff, and I'm like, people are doing this all over the place, And then it was like, we need to do this too. And I started doing that, organizing trips to Rochester with the homies and stuff, which got me into the mix of like the guys that worked at Kink, and obviously we all became friends at that point. And then I think after a few years of traveling together as kids still in high school, when I was like 19 and they needed a warehouse guy, I was like, this guy's obviously like, he wants in. I kind of tried to prove myself early on in Rochester to like get in those doors because, you know, I wanted in there. I would leave school early to go fold T-shirts and shit in the warehouse for free, and like ended up taking the job in the warehouse, moved into like doing sales and updating the website, TM stuff, and then like just got crazy.
Was it what you expected? You know, because I think a lot of people have this misconception of like what it's like to be at a BMX company.
Dude, when I got there, I was working in the warehouse, like working your ass off. Like it's not like we're just like smoking weed, riding ramps all day. It was like actually hard work. But we ended up going on Mega Tour 6, which was like a really early trip for like kind of like the new era of Kink,
right.
Where like kind of me and another guy, Matt Antis, who's now like the brand manager, we kind of were like given the reins around like 2006. We did Mega Tour 6. We brought like a relatively fresh face squad, and I was still working. I was 19 on that trip, dude. Like telling Chris Doyle like when to fucking go ride. And I was working in the warehouse packing T-shirts when I was on that trip. So it was like, this is like, what the hell? How did this happen?
When you took, as long as we're on the old school shit, when you took over at Kink, who was on the team?
Dude.
Because there was that like legendary
crazy,
thing where a
dude.
bunch of people left the team, but that's way before you came.
No,
in,
so
right?
the team basically like got like kind of like axed for some random reason, like before any of us were there. And then it was just like Ryan Shear,
and Dirty Dan,
Casey Badger, and Wong Tran.
Yeah.
So I get the job as like TM guy, warehouse guy, whatever. So I call Ryan and I'm like, "Yo, we all good here?" And he's like, "Oh, actually, I got to talk to you guys about some stuff." So he comes in the office. He's gonna start some bros. I'm like, "Okay, cool, fuck, that's crazy." I call Wong. I'm like, "Dude, things are crazy right now. We're starting some fresh faces." He's like, I'm actually going to go ride for some roads too. I was like, all right, well, it's cool, like, talking to you first. It was like the first time I ever talked to him. I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll talk to you later.
Oh, man, that's so funny.
So we had, like, Sexton. The first thing I ever did when I got a job at Kink was put on Daryl Taco.
Hell yeah.
From Bad Timing fame. Like, Daryl, to me, represented East Coast BMX, like, the epitome of East Coast BMX. Like, just Bad Timing was so cool, and that's obviously what got Daryl on Kink for me. Like, he was the first order business for me.
Hell yeah.
So we like put Sexton, we bumped Sexton up, we got Doyle somehow out of a weird random chain of events that you were possibly responsible for.
No comment.
Wait, but so were you like critical to that decision of adding Doyle? Were you like involved when they made that choice?
Well, you don't know what. Dave Dillaward was offered up as like interesting.
Wow.
Like, maybe like Dave Dillaward. We had like a connection in the industry that was like some guys were looking for some stuff, and we were like, Dave Dillaward's pretty sick. Whatever. Yeah, it's cool. And then we got a call one day like, hey, this guy might be like free agent. Like this guy might lose a sponsor
because of catfish.
And Zach fucking got on a plane, his own plane, and flew to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania himself. And
that's right, he's a pilot, huh?
He was a pilot, yeah. He ended up hitting his head too many times riding that they like took his pilot's license away.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Fucking America.
That's crazy.
But yeah, so like we got Doyle out of like an insane luck, and from there it was like kind of the new era of Kink. It's like 2006, 2007. We did Mega Tour 6, started filming Safety First, and then did a bunch of crazy road trips after that for like the past 7 years.
How did you like? What was your hierarchy from being 19 in the warehouse? Then when did you like?
When I got the job, I worked in the warehouse, updating the website, like kind of managing the new team because there was nothing really going on at the time. And from there, things grew. We moved. I ended up moving into an office and doing like sales, a little like third guy on the phone. International sales, team manager. So I was traveling a lot, and then when I was I would still go back home into the office when I wasn't on trips and like handle business like with international sales guys or answering the phone to back up blackout distribution, doing warranty stuff, and just helping out with like Kink is made up of like myself, now a graphic designer, but the brand manager Matt Antis and I have been working together on Kink since like 2006, kind of like doing every little random stuff that needs to be done. So there's been so many like hats that everyone wears there. You know, there's only like 4 people working at Kink Bikes Blackout Distribution in 2006. You know, and now there's like 12. So like in that time, we've like slowly had to do like handed off jobs and been able to like focus on smaller things like just a team or just marketing or just social networking or just product designing.
How hard would you say it's been over the last 10 years to be a team manager in BMX and to keep up with all these changes? Because it's changed so much from the time that you started.
Dude, like, just in the last 2.5, 3 years, the landscape is completely different. What makes up a professional bike rider right now is 100% different than just 2 years ago. It's crazy. And, like, fuck, I lose sleep over it thinking about, like, because I have to stay up to date. And I'm not the most, like, I'm just a BMX kid still, And you have to be, like, just as, like, tech savvy these days as you do need to have, like, your ears to the streets.
Right.
Or be online watching videos, be on fucking watching old DVD videos. Like, BMX is so all-encompassing now of things just outside of, like, riding, right, that the landscape of, like, looking for kids to sponsor or professionals is, like, changes every day now. Yeah. Like, it's crazy.
How the hell did this guy get on Kink?
Still bleeding.
Yeah, he's not a little kid.
I don't even know how.
Mark, this is cool, actually. Mark from Strictly BMX.
In Australia. Shout out to Mark and Strictly.
Cool dude. Really cool dude. And
shout out to Dilsey, too.
Shout out to Dillard. Dillard's
You were on the set.
Dillard. What's up, Dilsey?
The set, yep.
Dillard's always been sick, dude. Dillard's been killing it for
He's always,
so
you know what
long.
else? He's always been tall.
He's super tall.
Very tall.
Tall. Biggest foot
He
jam
is
whip
tall.
ever in the end of, was that End Search or was it?
And search, yeah.
That was his banger, was that huge foot jam whip?
Yeah.
That's,
No, I have a lot of respect
He's
for
the
Dillard.
man.
Shout out to
He's the
Dilsey.
man.
that word's sick.
Marcus Strictly just handed me a DVD at Interbike one year. Like, I don't even know what year, maybe.
He blew it.
And Calvin was riding for the set at the time, but I didn't know anything about the DVD. He's like, here, check this out. And I went home. I was living in Long Beach. I went back to Long Beach and watched it. And it was Calvin's Still Bleeding Black and Blue DVD. And Calvin said, the whole video is awesome. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this guy is like, knows what he's doing. And obviously, like, he's cool, dude. I was just super into it. And his section is just ridiculous. Like, if you haven't seen Still Bleeding Black and Blue, like, you should definitely watch it. All those Australian videos, like the videos that you've produced and the Cop and Sweet videos and, yeah, I mean, Cooper's videos, all that stuff's awesome. But, yeah.
Australian content's good.
Basically, Calvin's Still Bleeding part, I started looking into him and found out he's on the set and, like, kind of talked to some people and got in touch with him. And
Now you're here.
It was a tough one to do, but, it was a good decision because I'm here and,
So you're living in California now,
Yep.
officially. You got a visa.
Yeah, I got an athlete visa.
You got an athlete visa.
I've already done 2 years.
Did it
so-
the right way.
You're doing a good job right here. The switch off there, that was nice.
You like that? It's like
It's hard to
transition.
interview two people at once.
It
but,
is. You know what we call this in entertainment? A transition.
It was a great transition.
We'll have
Thank you.
a
That's
star wipe fade. Yeah.
I'm here. See, I'm good with the BMX. Like I said, we got no jumper here.
Fuck!
oh, man.
God damn it!
I knew it. I thought about it
Fuck,
20
all right.
minutes ago, too.
That's as unprofessional as
I
to
can-
come up misspelling our riders' names all the
You
time.
can just say that I played it.
That's okay. This is where okay. I'm gonna do this. Skibidi bop ba doo bop ba doo. We'll be right back. Now,
Just keep going. I'll change it.
I
You
don't
keep
give a
talking.
shit.
It's fine.
Okay.
Just,
I
just
also
leave it
don't
up
care,
there.
yeah.
We don't
Just
give a
leave
fuck,
it up there.
dude. We're chill.
I
You
play,
sure?
I play musical instruments,
that's
so we're
funny.
I
fine.
have
There you
ADD
go.
and
That's a part of the music
OCD.
industry.
We all like
and
music?
That gives me
Exactly.
every time I look at it now, I'm getting anxiety.
Damn it.
You know who's not going to be happy about this? Tony Hamlin.
Really?
Do you know
I
what you
don't
could easily do? Like, you could really easily do just because of
You're
my,
right.
my video stuff. We can just put a little fake thing over the
That would be
whole,
really
dude.
easy to do.
So
You're right.
easy.
Yeah.
You're not even stressing.
almost I could figure out how to do
It's
that.
just-
But you
it's-
could probably do it
it's-
really
I'm
easy,
not
yeah.
trying to be an asshole, but it's
really
very
easy.
distracting, and I'm going to do my best to carry on.
I want to see you do this so that people at home can. You continue this conversation.
Okay, so Calvin, how long have you been rapping, and who are your favorite producers to work with?
Favorite producers? Actually, who was telling me at the bar? What's the one that pretty much did all the beats since like the 90s? Who's the one guy that you
Dr.
got?
Dre.
No.
Kanye West.
Metro Boomin.
Beats by Dre. That's
You
so
know what's funny
obvious.
is that so many kids are going to notice that in the 13 minutes before us. Like almost everyone.
Yeah.
it's fine.
Whatever we
That's
got to
okay.
do. Whatever we got to do. Get
I don't
those
really
views.
know.
He's
too
gonna
much.
fix it. We're gonna talk some more about
Yeah.
you and Australia. So let's go back to the beginning. How did you get started riding BMX?
Well, I was skateboarding at the start when I was younger. Obviously, it's just a lot more accessible and cheaper for your parents. So I was doing that, and then, people at the skate park. We had a new skate park open up, and like there was buddies, just little dudes riding, and they were just going way higher.
Where in Australia are you from?
From Perth.
Perth,
on the
okay.
west coast. Yeah.
Okay.
So they were just going a lot higher, and they weren't just like throwing their toy away. Like they were staying on their toy. So I was like, that looks fun. And then I got a bike, and pretty much never looked back because it's just so much faster. And
So did you start out riding skate parks?
yeah, just skate parks. Yeah, my local Kareem Park local.
Who
CPL.
Who
Shout out to
were
CPL.
the older guys in your scene that kind of helped shape you? Because you have a very different approach to BMX riding.
Probably like the first people that I really hung out with, like Jamie Murray. He was on like Bone Death back when they first launched. That style of dude. Jay Wilson. We kind of same age, so we grew up together. But probably Daniel Jamison. Not many people really know who he is, but he's like our Van Homan of like, he's just legendary. He's just one of the best. Like, he just can do everything.
Hell yeah.
But it's just Perth doesn't have an industry. It's good like that. Mm-hmm. That's all, you know. It's nice to go home and it's just relaxing. Yeah.
So what goes on, because, I don't know, how long have you been out here? A year, 2 years?
2 years.
2 years?
Yeah, 2 years now, yeah.
You have very... I guess a professional approach to riding, whereas you will scout spots and you'll go one person and you just get shit done.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about your mentality when you're filming. Yeah.
I think just being out here in California over all the years, just watching video parts and like skate videos, BMX vids, all the spots are perfect. So it's like take advantage and I just want to like leave California on a note where I'm like satisfied. Like, I fucking did that, you know? So that's my approach. It's more about spots for me, I guess. It's not so much tricks. You know, I'll do what I feel is the right trick for the spot, but it's very minimal, usually. You know, it's about the spot and, like, being, like, able to say to yourself, oh, I fucking did that, I conquered that, or, you know, I want to go home and be
For
proud
you,
of
is it an issue? Could you do the kind of, like, tech jibby riding that people do, or do you just not like that?
Yes, you can.
You are good at that kind of stuff.
Like,
okay.
I mean, I can, but I'm fucking a tall dude, 6'4".
Right.
So I just try and find setups that are like just tall,
bigger,
big,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and it does look better for me.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
That's the way I see it. Just visual. It's all visual, man.
Right.
You know? But the tech side of things, I actually. Yeah, I did a trick the other day that I thought was fucking fun as fuck.
What?
It just stands out in my mind that like when we were somewhere, we were in Mexico City just like jibbing around, and you did 180 bar, fakie bar, half cab bar first try with a cassette on, and I was like, dude,
I did not expect that. That's crazy.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
I think that shit's tight when you don't expect it, and someone just like,
Yeah.
that's just
You just gotta have fun like that. That's to me, that's like fun doing that shit because we used to do a lot of flat ground, like
Right.
you know, the whatever. But
you gotta use that stuff tastefully.
Well, I think like I was definitely because I broke my foot in 2010 or something. It was a while ago, and that was like my turning point where I was like, I'm only gonna put myself in a scary position or a gnarly position when I've got a camera and it's for a project or whatever. Mm-hmm. So like before that, I was just like a young kid still, just fucking doing tricks, doing this and that, and just jibbing. And then it was like it just all changed. It was like I don't want to get hurt again, so make it worth your fucking while. Like,
right.
So that was my turning point, probably 2010, really. But
Right.
before that, I was having fucking a lot of fun jibbing.
So what can I ask this? Is that so you're like kind of like a simple rider, you like to keep it simple, like setup rider, and Jay, like most of the dudes that you've put on the team, I think have kind of been almost in that direction, sort of. But that's totally like in BMX now, it's like tech war constantly.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like how do you feel about that? Yeah,
Dude, it's tough when you have like some riders that are like doing such crazy shit, like the stuff Calvin does, the video parts that Calvin's put out, and the stuff Dan Collar does, and even stuff that Doyle does. Like Doyle puts it down so hard in the streets, and like he has a helmet on, and he fucking gets third place at the X Games dirt, but like
Shout out
it
to
doesn't
D-Man.
discredit how gnarly his gap to manuals are,
Yeah.
and the rails he does, and like kids. I doubt kids really like take to that, and I don't really know
Yes,
why.
they do. Yes, they
Like,
do.
Yeah, just
I hope so.
because obviously, like the tech side of stuff is like is what's in right now, and we're not as like well rounded in that. We might have more like versatile BMX riders, guys that you could take the skate park street setup or even the trails, and like everyone's gonna kill it.
Right.
So yeah, it's been a little difficult, kind of like putting out content that we know we're stoked on and that the guys are like stoked on, but it's like, damn, I know like what people are like maybe possibly trying to see from us right now. They're not going to, but
Yeah.
at the same time, like we're in a weird transition phase. Like we've had such a solid team for so long, and the landscape of BMX is changing so fast that it's like we have our guys like Jacob and Travis Hughes coming up and Jake Petruchik out of Rochester.
Yeah.
Like we have our young guys. Like we're making it happen. We're making the transition to like where to kind of like. We don't want to lose our core values of like basically I've always wanted to sponsor people that are good at BMX riding, not good at street riding, not good at riding trails, not good at grinding. Like they're just good at bike riding. Like, and you can take them to a flat ledge demo, or you can take them to a box jump demo, or you can take them on a road trip to wherever, and like they're gonna have a good time and not be bored or like not ride at all or whatever. But I mean, with the kids coming up right now, it's not as common to find that, but I think we have some guys that I'm pretty stoked on as far as Jacob and Travis and Jake and the younger guys that we got. As far as, yes, they put down the tech stuff and kill it, but I know that these guys are also, there's a lot more to them than just that stuff, you know, and I think that's important right now.
Yeah.
As a TM, are you constantly looking for new talent? Because I
Constantly,
think
dude.
that's the thing a lot of kids want to know. Like, are they always looking? Are they always
Constantly.
looking?
Don't you put ads in Craigslist and stuff?
Ads on Craigslist.
That's where I got you, right?
Can you 180 bar?
Nah, dude, I'm
High-Ledge
always,
Warriors
I'm pay
wanted.
attention to everything, dude. I pay attention to everything. Like, and can't say the same for all TMs. I'm sure everyone has like their own way of doing things, but I was telling Calvin today, like, first impressions to me for like kids are like everything. I remember meeting people for the first time for way back, you know, and it affects things. For like, it could affect things with people that you never had any idea would ever affect. And yeah, I definitely just look for people that are just chill and cool, and I don't know.
Hey, Robbie told me one time that he watches every single video on the come up. Are you like that? Do you watch every video that comes out like on the sites?
Yeah, well.
Because that made me feel weird. I'm like, damn, you watch a lot more videos on my site than I watch. So definitely.
I watch it in the morning.
I mean, it depends. It depends what's going on. If there's a lot of stuff going on and there's a lot of kids like popping up that I've never even heard of, like I definitely try to stay tuned to things. But you guys post a lot of stuff, and like probably like 60% of that stuff could arguably not be on there. So it's like, fuck, what do we? And I only have so many hours in the day.
Right.
But like, yeah, I definitely watch a lot of videos, and honestly, I talk to a lot of people. Like just talking to people about guys they've been on trips with and people they know and friends they have and whatever. Like,
Yeah, that's going to be the best way to find someone.
yeah,
Word of
I
mouth.
always talk to people. Yeah, people definitely.
How
watch
important is
people.
brand support? Because I know a lot of times, like, dudes would always hit me up, like, yo, put me on DK. And I'm like, you don't have one DK part on your bike. You know, like, it's like I think supporting a brand for a long time would behoove a lot of riders before just, being a part of the team.
Yeah, I don't know if I've never put anyone on that's like asked to be on.
Yeah, you kind of asked to get on.
Yeah.
This shit's sacred, dude.
Adam lets anybody on OS.
I mean, to me,
Adam
gotta
lets-
ask,
Just ask, yeah.
There's some
I
teams
think
out
in
there.
BMX these days, the team aspect is like kind of being like not so much cared about. Obviously, it's more like personal. You promote yourself more these days. But I still think it's so important, like, to have a team, and like if the BMX road trip dies, like how ridiculous is that? Like,
Right.
I just think it's important to have like a team and a group of guys that are just kind of stoked on the same thing, representing the brand like with continuity, you know?
Yeah.
But Kink has always been about traveling, largely, right? But like it seems like companies are pulling back on travel like crazy the past couple of years because this industry's in a
Yeah, I
weird
mean,
spot.
it really doesn't. I mean, look at what Rakani's done with just SoCal spots.
Yeah.
like he
Pretty
spent
fucking incredible.
You know, the budget he would, if there were budgets for these video parts that he's putting out, it would be nothing
Yeah.
compared to like a road trip we do to Costa Rica for 10 days,
Right.
like, and we get 15,000 views, and Rakani gets fucking 200,000. Like,
Right.
it's traveling. Unfortunately, to me right now is relatively dead in BMX, which sucks because to me, traveling and BMX are like the same thing. Like in my eyes, like when I view like what we do, they go hand in hand.
Do you see the value in the areas that you go to, though? Not so much on the far end, on the viewer's end, but do you see the return as far as you're bringing Chris Doyle to Ecuador? These kids are going to be psyched on Kink.
Yeah, but see, when we travel, we're definitely stoked to like bring BMX to places and share sessions with guys and stuff like that. But at the same time, like traveling just to like be on your own, find new spots, film it, put the video together, and do it all just not necessarily with like a promotion in mind or to make more money there or to. I mean, yeah, spreading BMX, obviously we want to do that everywhere, but it's cool to go to places that where you're relatively on your own, like experiencing everything like super raw. No tour guides,
Okay.
no nothing.
Well, it's weird now because like it seems like when companies go on trips, they want to make the most of it money wise. So they just any trip, if you're there for a week, it's like you're doing 3 stop shops or whatever.
Yeah, it's tough to to set aside a trip for just filming a video,
Right.
Yeah.
especially now when it's like you don't know.
Because you got the people in the office who are probably like, oh, you should go to the shop.
Yeah, you
right?
got to get your money. You got to make the most of your money.
Right.
But
Got to make kids happy too.
the same thing, like the shop stop stuff is weird now too because like less and less kids I think are coming out to
Really?
shops and more to
There's
your
so
guys.
many shop stops.
There's so
yeah.
many shop stops, and there's so already the relationships with a lot of pros are already relatively personal just because of social networking. It's
Right.
like-
Yeah.
and I think kids are definitely intimidated to ride at shop stops, and they might have more fun on like the jam like style like street rides
Yeah.
that people do and
Jam
stuff
format.
like
Kids
that.
never fucking ride to jams or shop stops. They're just so,
Yeah, so
like,
it's tough
They
So
want to
like,
watch Stevie. They
Well, that's
just
the
want to
thing.
watch Stevie.
They watch the one kid like shred. Like I've been on the OSS ones. And
Yeah.
Just like the standout kids, and they just kill it, and then everybody just
Yeah.
watches. It's like
Because it's so like
Yeah.
competitive now that they're
Almost,
looking
yeah.
at the kid doing the best trick. They're like, "Oh, I can't do that, so I
can't
shouldn't
do
even
that."
try a feeble
Yeah.
hard on this ledge." You know, it's like
yeah, it's like
I
kinda
think
weird
it's more now
mentality.
just like
we need a hype man in there to just like push the
that
kids
is
out
true.
there.
It's hard to keep the energy up.
Bring
Yeah,
me.
that's
I'll
it.
come. I'll come.
it's oddly more like you have to connect with these kids. It's easier, or not easier, but it's the way to connect with these kids isn't face to face anymore. It's like through their phones and through their computers. Unfortunately, like not in all cases, but when you do a trip, you're going to be social networking the hell out of it more than you're going to be visiting shop stops and like doing box jump demos and stuff. And way more people are going to see the promoting you're doing on social networking of your riders and stuff than are going to come to any shop stop. But it's a tough balance because you want to do both. You want to keep it alive, but.
Is it weird for you because you have all these like dudes on the team and some of them are older and you're like I know a lot of TMs are kind of in the position of like telling their riders like yo you need to do more on Instagram and shit. Do you ever get into that?
Yeah, dude. I mean,
Because
the fiscal year just ended. You know, April 1st just ended, and like everyone has contracts, and there's all the guys on the teams, like especially the other guys, like these are my best friends. You know, like we go to each other's fucking weddings and shit.
Yeah.
Like our parents know each other, or we know each other's parents and shit. So it's like, yeah, you got to make a phone call to your homie and be like, dude, it's like, I don't know, it's time to get a job, or it's time to do this, or it's time to do that stuff. It definitely like. When you
Sucks.
put dollar signs on your friends' heads, like it's fucked up.
It's the worst,
Like,
right?
yeah, like it's not cool. Like I've like it's stressful. I mean, anyone knows that.
Yeah.
But especially now, money and BMX comes up and down so much right now. It's like some dudes are living good, some dudes aren't living so good, and it's like you're responsible for that.
Guys like our age are at a weird spot because it's like I'm 32. Like 32 is pretty much like if you're a pro BMX rider, that's around the time that you're gonna not be pro anymore. So it's like a lot of dudes who are kind of my age or a little bit younger are like going through the transition of like their sponsors being like, "No, you're not pro anymore." And it's just weird seeing dudes my age going through that, or like even younger, like a dude 5 years younger than me. You're 27. You might be like your sponsors might be kind of getting sick of you or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, it's tough because the kids right now, the young kids are so good. Like,
Yeah.
and they're just naturally programmed to do the type of social network promoting that everyone wants them to do. And the older guys have to learn how to do it.
Right.
They have to adapt to it. Like these kids, like don't have to adapt. They're like that's how they've been raised. It's just normal to them. They're not doing anything extra. They're not working. They're just like that's how they live their life. Yeah. Like someone like our age, fucking 28, 27, 28 and older, is like has to adapt. Has to figure it out, has to learn about it.
Yeah.
And that's a huge divide, especially when you're trying to pay someone this much money and that much money, and why do you pay this guy that and that guy?
Yeah,
this?
how do you explain
Look
that?
how many followers this guy has, he makes nothing. Look how many followers this guy has, and he makes this much money. Like, there's no, it's like the Wild West still.
How important are impressions to you? Internet impressions.
To me personally, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
but
to you exactly.
Fuck that
But
to me personally, I don't give a
as
shit.
a TM,
As a TM, as like of the business behind BMX that inevitably is a reality, like, yeah, it's super important. Like we look at every stat, every single stat, every view, every fucking follow, whatever, every
And
subscribe.
they email us and tell us off for not posting enough.
And then you to email the guys like, hey guys, do this, and no one does it, and you're super confused. Doyle's the only one that does it because he's the only like real fucking.
how professional is Chris
the most
Doyle?
professional,
Right?
dude. He's the most professional.
Yeah, I'm
he's
jealous.
Doyle's deserving of everything he has. And when people just like kids are like, why is Doyle in the X Games? And it's like he got third place last year. Like, is anyone paying attention? Like,
Doyle kills it. He always has. He
He's
always
the
will.
man. He's the man.
Give us.
Crew just left. Yeah, and I've been asking for a beer for that whole time, and Biz would not do it. He wouldn't bring me a beer.
I'll get you one.
That's fine.
Steal this
Thank
from
you,
Biz,
thank
please.
you, though.
How about
Appreciate
you guys got any good like Tony Hamlin stories?
Oh boy.
Tony.
Let's talk about Adam and Tony. What do you
What's
guys
up,
be, why do
Tony?
you guys be?
Yeah, I don't know. He was
No,
picking
but you
on
guys
me.
are great on Twitter.
No, but I like Tony in real
You
life,
guys
so
love
it's like,
that.
you know, I didn't take it that seriously or anything. I don't
love
know
it.
how serious he takes it.
I
Because
don't-
he's just in love with
Thank you.
rock and roll, and I'm just not.
No,
and
no,
that's
it's-
we just kind
You guys are just clashing on music.
Yeah, yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's all
both-
chords.
yeah,
He
it's
took it
just
very personal when I said it in like Guns N' Roses.
If you write it off,
Oh, wait, that was that from? Oh, Jesus.
Tony Hamlin, you know, in the aggro Twitter BMX Olympics, I think Tony Hamlin is below Zach Gerber, but still probably in the top 10.
Really?
Zach
He does
Gerber is
well.
the most aggro dude.
So what's people's like perception of Tony? Because Tony's a very close
Tony is
personal
the
friend.
Tony is the fucking man.
Yeah.
But
Anybody that
really
doesn't
look
know
at
Tony
Twitter,
Hamlin,
because it's like if you look at his Twitter, you might think he's a little wild.
he's
but
a
if
little
you-
well. He's a little bit fucking.
But his
he's a little
Instagram
bit
isn't
out
that-
there,
isn't
you know.
like that.
But he's like a perfect representative of his age group and his demographic. He's just an angry young man,
Well, what is he,
incredibly
like,
talented.
27 or something? Is he-
27.
29.
Oh, 29, really?
this year.
Like a lot of his views.
30 this year.
Really?
He'll never look old.
He's 21. He looks like he's
He's
21.
just
so
a baby.
little, yeah.
He's
I
still
don't-
killing
But
it.
a lot of his views and his Twitter rants, I love because he's so.
It's kind of like you, yeah.
Yeah, he just goes out there. There's no
Controversial,
middle ground with him. He's
Well,
gonna
yeah.
tell you how it is. If you don't like it, fuck you.
Let's be like.
I mean, yeah, he's angry back there, but he's not that. He's like at the same time, he's cool as fuck. Like,
Yeah.
Tony's
He
the
should have
man.
got X Games invited though.
Tony, I feel like
You've been saying that for years, yeah.
Tony's the guy that's been slept on. Like no energy drink sponsor, no like Etnies supported him for a while, but like he wasn't really like their top guy, and like. I don't know. It was weird because he's been around for so long, and he's such a well-rounded rider.
Yeah, he
he's
kills
adapted to
anything.
BMX's
Kills it.
styles, like
And he's little too. That's the cool. Why I like
Yeah.
little guys.
And he's so shit-footed, and you would
Yep.
never know. Like,
Yeah.
He could be your body double in a movie.
He
I
could.
think we were on like Road Fools one time, and we got wasted, and that was a plan. I was like, "Hey, put my clothes on and ride the skate park, and everybody will think it's me."
Right.
And then we didn't do it.
no,
it was
Tony's been really good for a really long time. Hopefully, kids remember that.
Did you grow up riding with Tony?
Yeah. Tony and the Roster Twins, Steve DeBusk.
Oh hell yeah, Steve DeBus. That's right. Remember
Yeah.
the Shine part?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
The Twins. Yeah, fucking. There was a good scene there.
Yeah, Rochester is like a randomly like a really crazy BMX path. I mean, Greg Walsh is from Rochester.
Oh yeah, BMX food.
Like
Oh,
Kink,
no,
Kink
that's-
being from Rochester.
BMX.
That's-
Wow. Go in. You're thinking Greg Henry.
Greg
Who's
Henry.
Not from Rochester.
Kodak.
No, it's New York,
Kodak is
though.
from Rochester.
Who's that?
Kodak
Kodak's
Black.
from Rochester.
Yeah.
Coalition was
Some
out
of
of
the best.
Rochester.
Coalition.
Hell on Earth, if everyone remembers.
Were you
Hell
on Coalition?
I was not on Coalition. I did ride for Hell on Earth like back in the day.
Remember
but-
there was that long list of the team riders at the end of one of their props
Yeah,
commercials? It was like a
It's like
30-second
so many
list.
dudes. Pova was on the squad.
Yeah.
Taj and Joe Rich were on the squad.
Yeah.
Didn't Pov had a stem with
Yeah,
them?
Yes, he
Yeah.
did.
Pova.
Yeah.
That's right. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It was the first stem that had the middle cut out on the plate.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole middle. So it was two different pieces.
Yeah, Greg Walsh and Zach grew up in like the town next to me that I grew up in.
Oh wow.
Which is like, yeah, it's crazy.
What's Zach's involvement with Kink like at this point? Would you say he's still just as interested in it as he always was?
I mean, Zach's got 2 kids now and family, and like he like oversees Kink BMX Blackout distribution, but the day-to-day operations with as far as like this like daily decisions and branding and stuff like that, he's not so much a part of. It's more myself and our branding manager and the graphic designer. Zach's pretty like hands off as far as like BMX decisions go. He's older. And kind of manages like the money side of things and like keeps things rolling forward.
Thank
What
you,
do you-
Zach.
What do you guys got
Zach's
going
the man,
on
yeah.
for what has King got going on for 2016?
Well, I'm out in California right now, getting ready for the Kink House 2,
Oh,
in Long Beach or where?
San Diego.
San Diego.
San Diego.
We've done Long Beach. Dude.
Yeah, you
Long
did.
Beach.
Long Beach is kind of done.
We were all there. We all moved there at the same
Long
time.
Beach,
That's right. We
yes.
all moved there at the same time. Shout out to Long Beach and the mayor.
People talk about Cali and riding all that stuff. I'm like, dude, we were out there. We did this
Yeah,
stuff.
California will never feel as blown out as Long Beach did for a couple years there. It was wild. You go to the bar and you'd have 15.
Yeah,
it would
that
be
was
interbike
crazy.
every night.
Yeah.
But
Literally, that's the best way to describe it.
the pike, right?
no, in like two weeks we're starting Kink House San Diego. We have like so many dudes coming out like each week. A bunch of international guys and all the guys from the States coming through. We'll basically be in a big house in San Diego, downtown San Diego, for 4 weeks. Just chilling, riding, like filming it all. We'll be putting out. We have like kind of a bunch of like web releases that'll be coming out in conjunction with the house project and stuff. So
Hell yeah.
Are you guys watching like the deadline video and the market video and like trying to make sure you don't do any ABDs while you're out there? Because it's a big
ABDs.
worry in
Honestly,
San
dude,
Diego.
yeah.
Going into this project,
You got to do your research.
this project's actually it's interesting because this project for us is really about like connecting kink more with like kids and stuff, like people seeing a side of kink that they don't really normally see, because we've kind of like, we're good at like planning road trips, doing crazy bike riding on it, filming it, editing it to like a good song, putting it out, like raw core bike riding stuff. What this project's going to be for us is more like connecting with kids, just like a lot of like interactive stuff, live stream stuff. Obviously, Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram stuff's going to be going, and a lot of edits coming out like weekly. So it's just going to be like a lot of kink content and a lot of more like personal side of stuff. Hopefully, you'll be like learning like a lot more about the riders and stuff through like the Kink House project. Kind of want to like show more lifestyle to like everyone, and like show more people like the inside of the brand. I feel like we're normally like a little closed off, especially not being like in California so much.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a weird thing these days. It feels like if you're not in California, then BMX is just kind of ignoring you these days.
Dude, we struggle
right?
with that for real, because we really feel like that when you're on the East Coast. The industry's here.
Yeah,
There's no debating.
All
that.
the media's here,
and
so.
as far and riders too. I want my riders here. Like I want my riders living out here. Like even when me and Daryl were out here, it was such a benefit. Just you're just immersed into it, and it's like. It's harder at times when you're so immersed into it all the time. But no, I mean, this is really where it's happening. And like, if you're a kid like trying to see BMX and like kind of see people riding and like in the streets and like going to skate parks and seeing pros, like this is where it happens. See company owners, see TMs at the skate park, like it really does happen out here. So it's tough. Like I know the office, you feel like kind of like the black sheep out there. Like in shops, it's tough when people want to stock your stuff and you're on the other side of the country. Even if we can get it to them in 3 days, they can get it from a company out here in a day.
Yeah.
When did you start traveling? Because you or probably in the last 3 years or so is when you really.
Dude, I mean,
I've globetrotting.
Yeah, see, I've always been super into traveling, which is why we lived in California. Like, we got to live in California, and then we did it, and it was like, this is tight, but like, I like travel, and we moved to Austin from there, and basically, I just hit the road after that. I had like a relationship end and had no like strings attached to anything. Kind of stopped paying rent and took like. For the last like 2.5 years, I've just been kind of like bouncing around. Like we travel so much for kink, that's like kink trip, my trip, kink trip, my trip, and I've just been like kind of rolling with it until I came to Barcelona for like the first time at the end of 2014. I've been there ever since.
Yeah.
Like,
okay. So you've been there for a while, right?
Yeah. But I mean, before that, I just like to travel, and I like to travel with the homies, and I like to travel with the kink team. Like we just try to keep it going all the time.
What's so special about Barcelona?
Yeah.
I mean, you guys been there.
The
I don't know, man. It's for me getting older in BMX. Like, I'm in every day BMX. Like, because I still ride all the time. I'm still like think I'm going to be like a pro rider someday. So it's like
in your head, they feel that way.
In my head, I'm like, dude,
awesome.
like
That's
I got to do
amazing.
this ice pick because I might be pro one day.
Yeah, like I'm still a fucking BMX kid.
I'm gonna get sponsored one day.
That's awesome.
I'm still like trying to like I want people to be like, oh, that guy like doesn't suck.
Yeah.
But
Jake blasted the ramps at Vans.
got a little HB session.
He handled
this
it.
morning.
It is funny
Dude,
being older and like being in the industry and being like, I want to get this Instagram clip or whatever because I want to like just prove that I'm not done.
Dude, we're riding the HB Bowl with Chris Fox today.
I'm still here.
And I'm trying not to copy Chris's lines, but he's like got the line I want. I'm like, fuck, dude.
Yeah,
This
he's
guy's
incredible.
Gonna think I'm so lame, dude. No, it's funny.
So that's what's awesome when you have guys that are like TMs and they're making decisions at companies and they kill it too.
Well, that's the thing with Barcelona. Like getting older in BMX, it's like I still want to stay motivated, stay inspired, like be stoked and everything. And sometimes things can get stale when you're chilling, you're online every day, doing the same stuff. Barcelona for me is like just riding there. I feel like I'm like a little kid, I get, and I'm not like necessarily looking for spots because I need to do like the craziest tricks I can find spots to do on. But I'll go find spots and be like just as rewarded as like pulling a trick now. In Barcelona, like when you're pedaling the streets, it's just you're immersed in the city and like BMX and skating all at one time. The culture there is like so chill, so like welcoming to someone that wants to just do what they want to do.
Right.
Just the density of spots is just like something that you don't get anywhere else.
It's hard to explain to people that even if you've taken a trip there and you've done like the whole like coastal line tour and like taken the metro to a couple of spots, and you're like, yeah, it's stacked. It's like, no, dude. The place is like untouched. Like there's just so much stuff. And if you're the kind of person that likes to just look for spots, even if you're not like looking for something to kill yourself on, you just like to find the stuff. Like that's the place. Like that is the place. I've traveled the world, dude. We've looked for spots everywhere, just about. And like that is the place. I know it sounds crazy. Like, I didn't go there until 2014 because I was like snotty travel guy. Like, no, we're not gonna go to Barcelona. Like, we're gonna go to fucking Haiti and like find some shops. And it was like, dude, when I got there, I was like embarrassed. I was like, dude, I fucked up. Like, this really is, it really is the place. And like, just the dudes there, Simone holds it down.
Yeah.
And all
so
the
he lives there
Barcelona,
too, right?
all the Barcelona locals are super cool.
Yeah.
And all the Argentinians that live there are awesome
Hell yeah.
dudes. And yeah, everyone's just down
Barbers.
to ride. And
Shout out to Barber. Shout out to Minnie. Shout out to Eric Sands.
I'm stunned that there's not more U.S. pros out there.
Mirko.
I don't understand why.
And you go out there too, and you'll see like U.S. skate pros who are just
All the
out there
time.
for 3 months
Yeah.
All the
filming,
time.
and they're
And
just.
there's
and it's so
Europeans do it.
cheap. It's so, as long as you don't eat out, you go make your own food. It's
It's
so
super
cheap.
Yeah.
You can find places to stay and rent places for a
Beers
month.
are $1.
Like,
Cerveza.
I
Cerveza
don't
beer.
understand
Sounds
why.
too good to be true.
I don't understand why more U.S. pros don't take advantage of like being able to live wherever they want. Really, I mean,
Yeah.
I know a lot of companies might stress if they leave the country for a while, but like,
Yeah,
dude,
do you,
that's the
do you
place.
get shit from the office because you're away from most of the team living in
Well,
Barcelona?
it's funny. Like, I had this office job up until like 2010, or no, up until like 2009, and we started doing so much kink stuff, and I was like squeezed into my own trips that I was like away from the office more and more and more. And one day, dude, we got back from Australia. We did Australia, New Zealand. I was on the road for like a month straight, and I got back, and Zach was like, you know what? He's like, just you can live wherever. And I was
Done.
what?
Wow.
And that's when we
Done.
moved to Long Beach. We were like,
That's
all
a
right, Kink
dream.
House, Long Beach.
You can move anywhere in the world.
And ever since
I'm going to Long Beach.
And I was like, well, it was like, all right, well,
That
we're
is
going to California.
crazy. That's
Yeah,
a
no,
good
like,
job.
You can move anywhere. I'm moving to Long Beach. Sounds pretty funny now.
Fuck
Yeah, yeah.
I'd move to New Hampshire.
No, it was about getting out of the East Coast. Like the winter there is just crazy. Rochester's weather is like so nuts. Like it just you don't.
Was the skate park there 4-wheel?
Extremes
Extremes.
was like an epic
Extremes,
indoor
yeah.
park. There
It's
were
gone
two-
now, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
There were
yeah.
2 versions of Extremes growing up, and now there's a skate park there called RASP, which is another indoor park in Rochester, New York. They're cool places. They've always had like people trying to hold it down. It's always obviously a struggle, but
Yeah.
RASP is still there in Rochester, New York. You should definitely check that place out. if
There you
you're
go. Shout out to
there.
Rasp.
But
Sounds
I
fun.
never heard of that. They allow bikes?
yeah.
What does that stand for? Ramp Action
Rochester
Sports Place.
Action Sports Park.
There
I
you
was
go.
picturing it in like a death metal font. Rasp.
Like Wasp.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but
Agreed.
once I got booted from the office, and I was basically like, yeah, I'm just gonna take advantage of this as much as humanly
You
possible.
just run it.
Yeah, just run.
Oh
it.
yeah.
I don't know if the office gets stressed sometimes. They want me to live in California, honestly. I know. I mean, I'm sure they do, but I don't. Just,
Chickens and riders.
Yeah.
Yeah, why'd you move out
Stay
of
with
California? You didn't really dig Long Beach too much?
no, it was cool. Or just kind of just like I don't know, over it. I guess I don't know why. I wanted to experience Austin. Like like I said, like I'm a fucking BMX nerd. Like I moved to Long Beach when Long Beach was like the hub, and I wanted to live in Austin. Like Austin's the hub.
Austin's sick.
Now I live in Barcelona. Like it's like so cliche, but it's like I don't know. I just enjoy it,
I think Austin's way better than LA for street riding.
dude. Riding out here,
You
is
like country
just
music?
hard, dude.
I do not like country
it's
music.
just-
Yes, you do.
To just
It's
ride
all right.
spots.
I'm not
But
mad
that's why
at it.
Long Beach is dope because you didn't have to have you need a car. You could just
Yeah.
ride around. Here it's like
Austin, you can pedal pretty.
Barcelona.
a lot
You
of
can
places
pedal
you
too.
pedal. Yeah, Barcelona's the ultimate
Barcelona's
place to pedal.
Barcelona. You're out your door and you're riding.
Yeah.
and you're on your bike all day, even if you're not like doing feeble grounds. You're still like riding your bike to everywhere, and it's just being on your BMX bike in Barcelona is like a part of your life,
Yeah.
as opposed to like going and riding or like going. To,
Yeah, putting your bike in a car.
yeah.
And
It's just a different lifestyle, and I've really stoked on it. I'm like trying to get my visa. I'm like getting a visa.
oh wow, dude,
Trying to
you're
make it
going
happen.
big with it. Hell yeah, that's awesome.
That's all.
Calvin,
That
you
is
addicted to traveling too?
I do. I love traveling. I mean, it's nice to have like a place to call home
Right.
as well. Like, but yeah, I mean, the Kink dudes always get me going. I mean,
Right.
I've
Yeah, we try to.
done some Mexico City trips. Went to
We did
Costa Rica.
I brought
which
Travis
was-
and Jacob to Costa Rica.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
and that's it's
They get
weird
sick.
for
They got
me.
sick.
Well,
Nah,
Jacob got.
Same Chili's. You guys took him to Chili's.
Jacob got homesick.
Jacob got
Well, he's got his boo boo
Really? He
bear.
had his chick.
boo boo bear. That's
Oh,
okay. That's okay.
I seen Travis and Jacob nearly fight each other.
Travis
like
was
over
back.
nothing. I
Travis-
was like, "Come on, boys! Like, break it up, break it up." I took him to the Hard Rock Hotel. Well, Jacob stayed. I took Travis to the Hard Rock Hotel. Why? For no reason. I didn't even know why the fuck there was a Hard Rock, and got him drunk. And his mum's gonna see this, but
That's okay.
I broke him up and then brought him back together.
The
and
common
they were
crew
good
fighting.
together.
You know what we
Yeah,
call that?
Just young kids.
Common crew commotion.
Nice.
Do they really call
Who's-
it that?
No, I
You
just
think?
invented that right now. It's not true at all.
Oh.
Really?
No, that's
Oh,
not at all.
shit.
Who's your favorite rider?
Favorite rider? Damn, that's a tough one.
It's a tough one to put on the
That's
spot.
always a
No,
tough
that's
one.
why I
Can do,
like
a
it.
bunch of-
This is why they pay. He pays me big
Catfish.
bucks.
Ah, shit. I mean,
It's an easy question. Who's your favorite rider? First person that popped
Yeah.
in your head. You know,
Van Homan.
I know. No, not Van Homan.
Why not?
Dan
You're
Rigby,
too young for that?
No, not too young.
Okay.
Dave Assato,
Oh, it's such a tough one, isn't it?
Jamie Bestwick.
I don't even know.
Ruth
I've got so many in my
Jason
head. I'm just
Enns.
Mine's always
I can't-
Aiken. Like,
I
Aiken's
can't
just-
say
There
it.
you go. See, that's an easy one. Aiken.
Yeah,
I can
that
tell you
was an
his.
easy one.
Edwin.
Yeah.
That's
Edwin, yeah, Edwin is, yeah, he's.
I can tell you Biz's. Mary
Yes, who is
Poppins. Mary Poppins.
His favorite rider is shitty.
Shit, he's pretty dope. He's over
So
there.
we're still waiting on your favorite rider, sir.
All right, I'm gonna have to go with shit, man. I'm like, I don't want to say it because then it's like it could be the wrong. I'll be like, that wasn't that person. That was someone else.
Don't
Shit,
beat
he's just
yourself
pointing
up
at
over
himself.
it. Yeah. He's convinced.
Yeah, I mean,
Who do you like to watch ride? Who?
I'm gonna say he pretty much said it, but Jimmy Levan, I think.
Oh,
Hell
wow.
yeah.
All
You
right.
know,
Okay.
if you like look at him and just like, I don't know, he's a fucking rocker and he just did his own shit and went fast.
Right.
Hell, that's
Just go
that was
fast,
a
you
fucking
know?
good
And
answer.
that's what I like, you know, to come into BMX and seeing that stuff. Like it wasn't like skateboarding. Skating was slow, and these guys were going fast. You know, Sean Burns and stuff. You know, those guys are rad.
Your mate Rooftop.
I have met Rooftop.
You would like to tell you.
Yeah.
I hung out with him last week, and he got so mad at me. As soon as I saw him, he shows me this Instagram, a still shot of an Instagram video where a kid, he didn't like, it was a skate park clip. There was like a bank. He did nosy out of the bank to, there's like a foot tall ledge, double peg on the ledge.
Yeah.
And the picture was the kid doing the actual double peg on the ledge. As soon as I walk in the room, Rooftop's like, hey, Mr. Come Up, what the fuck is this? You know this kid? He's not going fast, and he's a foot off the ledge. He's
It's
like, if
just
there was a
not
pack of
fast
cigarettes
enough.
on
Was
the
it a pro?
ground.
Was
Yeah,
it Ricani?
I think no.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was Ricani.
I think it was.
Ricani had a
no,
clip like that the other
I
day.
think it was Mikey. Who I think
Mikey?
it was, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's amazing. But you know, it has something crazy about my like first impressions of BMX and getting like a custom bike. Like when
Yeah.
I first got my custom. So my first frame was a Kink Defender.
Wow,
And that
okay.
was like 7 pounds. You probably designed it. I don't know. It was an amazing frame, and my second frame was actually a signature like pro model, and that was Jimmy Levan Dagger with the integrated headset, and it came with the Euro bottom bracket when they first came out, and that's pretty much my two first frames.
Wow.
Which is crazy, but yeah.
Mine was a Volume Destroyer, a Jason N signature frame that he
Hell
had
yeah.
immediately just quit Kink to then create, which is not really that
Recreate.
Kink related, but
Yeah,
sort of.
It's nearly. I mean, Jason was on the team, right? That's
Yeah,
crazy.
we have in the office is like a framed picture of him like doing an X up nose pick.
Yep.
From like
Who else was on that OG team? It was like Selinsky,
Wow,
Nate Hansen.
Nate Hansen,
Dave
Rob
Young.
Tibbs.
Dave Young doing the X-Up
Dave
fakie on the cover of
Young.
Rod with a huge sprocket guard.
Ian
I'll
Monroe,
start at 45
Ian
tooth.
Monroe, and Chris Ariaga were in there
Yeah.
later.
And that was a cool thing too, to watch the emergence of a new bike company. I remember thinking when Kink first came out, that was so cool because it was, you know, years after the rider-owned companies like Volume had started and what was it, Standard and S&M.
Volume
What
Kink
year
came
did
out
Kink
around
start?
the same time, right?
94.
94.
Jeez, yeah.
I
Okay.
graduated high school.
Zach was like selling like axles and pegs that his dad made his machine shop like out of his backpack in Rochester, and it just like went crazy from there.
We got into a crazy racist fight with Lou Bickle one night over Kink shirts.
Nice.
So there was a Kink shirt. You may not remember these. There was
Old King apparel is
yeah,
amazing.
dude.
Amazing
there were
stuff.
3 smiley faces. Okay, there was a smiley face, and it said smiley face. There were 3 Ks. So if you imagine like two dots, a nose, and a mouth, so it looked like a K.
Right.
So this one it said smiley face. This one said like picnic table because it was upside down, like a K like this, picnic table. The other one was smiley face, picnic table, and then it was K.
But it kind of looked like KKK.
Oh,
It looked like
God.
we're in a bar with Lou Bickle, and we had just come from some contest, and him and my friend Toledo Joe both had these shirts on, these Kink shirts on. They start playing pool with these 2 lesbians, visible, loud lesbians. And everything's cool at first, but Lou has too much to drink, and he starts talking shit to these girls. Not being rude or anything, but then these women are like, "You're fucking assholes. You guys buy into the KKK, blah, blah, blah." I don't know if I ever told this story on here. I had just gotten a TRV. Like it was a used TRV. So I'm in the bar just filming, being funny, haha. They start arguing with these women. And they're like, it starts escalating. They're yelling. Lou's like, "You're a fucking stupid bitch. This is a fucking bike company, blah, blah, blah." And
Lou Bickle's repping the King shirt.
Lou Bickle and Toledo Joe Preissel is repping the other King shirt. And I'm filming and the pool table's over here, and I'm filming the fight. In my video, there's a guy who's not even involved in this, who just sees fucking a bunch of assholes, and he's got his pool stick, and he taps my video camera with his pool stick, like, yo, don't fucking film this. I'm like, you motherfucker. I walk over to the booth, and I put the video camera down because there's going to be an altercation, and I look, and this motherfucker across the bar takes his pool stick and just javelins it at me. I'm just standing there. The pool stick hits the wall across from me. Before I can even get over to him, Joe Pricell, boom, knocks this motherfucker out. I was so mad. The guy's dead now, so I can tell the story.
Wow.
I was so mad. I was so mad that this guy threw the pool stick at me that I picked the pool stick up. I walked over, and he was coming back up to his knees, and then I just broke the fucking pool stick over the back of his head. Hands down, the gnarliest, like, Steven Seagal type shit that I've ever done in my life, but it was all because of fucking a Kink shirt. We'll have to find the Kink shirt, and we can put it in here so people know what we're talking about. Just
It's a real thing.
Probably
it's a
won't
real
happen
thing.
because
yeah.
you're not gonna be able to
So
find it,
rest in
but-
peace, that
I
guy.
don't know about that. That's
Yeah, I don't think that's online. Wow, that was a wild story. Actually.
That's a real thing that happened on Earth.
Usually your stories are pretty boring and I just zone out. But
Nope,
I was
I hit a man with a
glued
pool
into
stick.
that one, yeah.
How about being in Latvia? Sean Sexton getting our $300.
Oh, good gosh.
Okay, what happened? What's the story?
Jeez.
We were in Riga, Latvia last August, and we basically bought like an ounce, and it was synthetic.
Oh, fake weed. Okay.
They bought fake weed. I don't know what real weed smells like or tastes like, but this looked like real weed.
buddy.
How did you guys manage? Like, how long have you been smoking for?
Pretty long. I mean, long enough. You've been smoking.
Long enough.
Yeah.
And you guys were full.
Catfish was there, yeah.
You were
Yeah,
full.
We were full.
It was
For your own. Wow.
But did you get a good look at it before you bought it, or was it the kind of thing where they
Dude,
just
it
sort of
was
passed
it was
off?
such a
Exchange.
sketchy situation. Do you remember when we got it? Do you
Eastern
remember?
European
It was
situation.
at a skate park, and he comes back, and I kid you not, I've seen weed in all sort of receptacles, bags,
What was it?
jars. It was in a red cup.
I see that.
No
Yeah, that's
top
the
on it,
issue.
just a red cup.
My
and it was
God.
like, we had a lot of drinks. We all smoked it, and then the next day we realized that Sean's like smoking it,
It's not
and it's not ashing. Like the ash is this long, and you're. And it's not ashing.
Just
We're
stick.
like, we got God. It's not real.
Oh my God.
So, but
Sexton's
through
such a
force,
badass.
yeah, Sexton made some shit happen. Don't fuck with Sean Sexton.
$300 back. Got
300
it.
euros. 300 euros.
€300 back.
Wow.
And
Wow.
he went over to the dude's
Fuck yeah,
apartment and got it
Sexton.
back. Like, yeah, he was.
Don't fuck with Sean
When he
Sexton.
gets pissed, yeah, you don't fuck with him.
He
Oh,
could
that's
fucking.
yeah, who has the worst temper on the Kink team?
I mean, Tony.
Oh, hell yeah.
But just when he's riding, Tony
Yeah,
off his
Tony.
bike is super chill. Like, I mean, relatively chill. Like, he does not like getting pissed about other stuff and like throwing coffee around when he's pissed or anything. Just his bike.
Yeah,
Like,
he will trash
but
his
if you
bike.
mess with Sexton, like obviously Sexton's like super laid back. But if you fuck with him or like piss him off or fuck with one of us, like he puts it down. You get
Sexton's
scared.
Yeah, that was such a
Gnarly.
fun trip because we just happened to be in Latvia at the same time, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're renting an apartment for a couple of weeks." I was like, "Can I stay with you guys?" They're like, yeah. So I ended up staying with them for like a week, and we went out, and it was just cool to
It's
see them in
interesting
their
because
own
most bike
environment.
companies would say no, Catfish.
Of course, they would say no.
Yeah,
I actually for the first 2 or 3 days, I thought maybe I was gonna get the hookup, but
Shitty's
I
putting-
never.
Shitty's putting
I
a
never.
cult
It's
sticker out
rough
there,
out there.
dude.
It's
I see
rough
you.
out there. You did buy me
what are
some
you
meals, so I
doing?
Putting
appreciate
up a
it.
cult sticker. Guys are fit. Molar. Check this
Holy
out.
shit.
I call
That
him
is
Ted
that is
Redhead. I wish there was like a
For
film
our friends out there,
Stop.
for our friends out there that they don't understand, we've got Reed
Stark,
Stark
Sean McIntosh, and
and
Biz
Sean
Jordan.
McIntosh, Biz Jordan. They're in the lane in the cut over
Three
here.
bums.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
they've been huffing helium all day. Let me make sure. I want to make sure this is still on.
Shouts to Biz for letting me stay in his room for the last week.
Yeah,
Hey,
biz.
so Jay, how do you feel about the X Games, specifically the judging?
Yeah, what was that you were saying
yeah.
before?
About some commotion going on, comic crew commotion in the industry?
No, I'm not. I just have a stance on X Games judging. I think it's a little. I don't want to say it's flawed. I just think it's confusing. I don't know. I don't know who's behind it. I don't know the rules. I don't know how it's gonna be this year. I've just generally been confused about it, and
It's definitely been very confusing the last couple of years. I think, especially when they went to the bowl format, that
I think the guys, the powers that be, like don't really want too much like challenging, or I don't know. I'm not really sure. the X Games is such a monster that is so much bigger than.
But it's weird though, and it's frustrating because it's the largest stage for.
Well, that's my main issue with the judging.
Sports, yeah,
it's the biggest stage we have, and everything should be proper. And I personally, if you were to go back and look through who's judged which events during the past years, I personally would disagree with that. Maybe other people wouldn't, but I just think
because there's a lot of older guys that might not necessarily be clued in on all the new.
I'm just
tech
thinking
stuff.
The judges panel. There's a lot of just older guys that necessarily don't ride or even see.
Yeah,
the type
if you haven't touched a bike in 4 months, or you haven't dropped in on a vert ramp, you shouldn't be judging vert. If you haven't jumped a mega ramp, you shouldn't be judging it. If you're not a street rider, you shouldn't be judging street.
It's tough to come up with what the stipulation should be. I've just more recently kind of voiced my opinions to certain people in the industry about it, and it was not well received. And to me, it's disappointing because I'm not saying I need to be a judge or this guy needs to be a judge. I'm just saying let's think about this. Like, let's maybe bring in some more people. Let's bring in maybe more people that are at the forefront of things. People that are in the streets.
Bring in
Biz is the best judge that I've ever known. That's a fact. Yeah,
he
Biz
is the best.
Yeah, like let's have conversations about it, or let's just maybe since they are the ones in charge and they have that responsibility, like open up to like maybe more what's happening right now.
I agree.
On the ground level of
I
things.
agree. I absolutely
Not
agree.
just what's happening, in your like bubble of BMX.
I also think that like there's so much that can be improved on it. Even like there should be open qualifiers, man. Like that's a big thing. I think
I'm not like a huge contest guy, advocate guy, or whatever. I don't want to get down.
See, I am. That's what I do.
I think it's amazing. I'm stoked dudes get paid. I don't think enough kink riders get invited, and that's about all I have to say about it.
And the thing that I think a lot of people need to remember about the X Games, and that it's hard for a lot of us because BMX is our life, is that at the end of the day, it's a TV show.
Yeah.
And even though they're presenting it the way they want to, BMX is getting a little bit of shine in the right light. It's still, it's a double-edged sword because it's like kids are getting exposed to it, but they're not showing BMX the right way.
It's just supposed to be the event that is what we are, and we are all like, that's not fucking us.
Right.
Like, that's not. We don't know what's going on.
But don't you think skaters probably feel that way about X Games too?
Yeah, probably, but I don't know, because the Street League stuff and the X Games stuff, and those guys may feel a certain way, but they're making real money.
Right, and their endorsements for getting into the X Games are so much more. It's like
those guys are on such a different level as far as like what their core values are all about and how they feel about things. And they have agents telling them what to do and shit like that. TV producers telling them what to do. Not their like scrum bum team manager.
Skaters have agents. BMX riders have Asians.
Exactly.
BMX riders have like ill-informed friends, like severely ill-informed friends to like kind of guide them through things. Like,
yeah.
It's weird. That's the weird thing about BMX is that everybody in the industry wants it to be more like skating in the sense that like people have enough money, people can have like long careers and stuff. But then in actuality, like the size of the industry doesn't allow for us to do a lot of the things that we want to do. And it's just a challenge,
Yeah, it's just the reach. The reach isn't there as far as kids on BMX bikes and kids on skateboards. It's just the numbers are drastically different, and it
sucks to see so many like corporate companies like totally not want to fuck with BMX at all though, where like they used to back in the day, even if it was smaller than skateboarding, but now it seems like so many corporate companies have kind of like fled the scene that it's harder for dudes to make a living,
Yeah, especially brands that are into skateboarding, like even Levi's is still doing skateboarding stuff, and Dickies. Like, why doesn't Dickies have a BMX team? Like, and
if they just had like the one dude who knew what the fuck was going on to run it.
I think that's the big problem.
And that's the problem is that a lot of times like you see
in.
like a shoe company, fucking I'll say fucking Osiris, and then they put
dude, I did this.
They put some dickhead
one of the
in charge,
biggest
and
problems in our industry for a really long time is like there's a handful of the wrong people in really powerful positions. Not powerful, but the right positions. Think about how the poorly ran the DC program was for so long. Just a joke of a program with so much money to spend productively, road trips and events, and just paying certain guys properly and not paying other guys. It's just like it was such a weird setup, but it was such an opportunity to show BMX to such a group of people that would never see it, bros and PacSun and whoever. Like, it just wasn't. It was just. No one was brought into that position that could make...
And it's so weird thinking about it now because, 5 years ago, you see somebody in DCs, you're like, oh, cool, he might ride BMX. Now, at least for me, now when I see a DC, I just cringe.
Yeah,
Like
it's
I just like
it just wasn't portrayed very cool or very well, in my opinion, and it could have been because the money was there and the support was there at the time, but the person in charge wasn't really making the right calls, I think.
And didn't really know anything about riding. And just
the
had
same
to
could be
rely on
said
the
for
team.
Osiris, like you said, and
Yeah.
a lot of even brands that are still going. There's just I don't know.
Yeah.
It's tough to.
It's weird
tell.
for us because we can't name the like blatant, obvious examples in a lot of cases until that brand stops fucking with BMX because we don't want to offend people that we're like cool with or whatever. But
Yeah, and it's tough. Working for brands like that, I'm sure it's not as easy as we all think it is. Like it's like, why don't you just do that? Why don't you just do this? But I don't know.
I thought of a good question.
okay.
What's up with that Kink and Rockstar connection?
Dude, that was
Rockstar
crazy.
Games. That
Yeah,
was one of
Rockstar
the
Games.
craziest
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, Rockstar just signed over a check like once a year for like a bunch of dough to Kink, and we just rocked the logos.
Just had to have the little logo.
They
and
sent
the
video
thing,
games. Like, there's some dudes from Rochester, and like, I could be making this up, but like Ryan Shear and some guys might have voices in GTA, like Vice City, maybe.
Really?
That's awesome.
One of them, they like Rockstar asked, like, "Hey, do you guys want to like do some voiceovers for like some people getting beat up or something?"
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really weird.
See, there's an example. Like, when was the last time that a BMX company had a fucking video game sponsor?
Yeah, that was
Right?
insane.
That would've been
Yeah,
cool.
they would always send like crazy video games, and yeah, they sent. I'm pretty sure the deal was like they just sent like a bunch of dough for the year. Like, hey, have like do a trip or do something. At the time, who knows?
Damn, see, that's
a
all
cool
it takes. A
arrangement,
good
yeah.
marketing platform. You say, hey, I got this BMX company. You guys want to kick me
Yeah.
$150,000 a year? We'll use your logo. Yeah, do it.
So, in you guys' opinions, what needs to happen for BMX to continue to grow or to stop being in a weird recession thing now? Like, what
Just
would
like
help?
a lot of 60-second Instagram videos. Let's be honest,
Stretch
we're gonna
out
have
that
a lot of fun with this
An
shit.
Instagram video with like a credit
Have you guys
section
seen any
after.
60-seconders yet? I
Closing.
haven't seen any yet.
I said that I hadn't seen any today on Twitter, and then somebody linked me to like a Tony Hawk one. So
Yeah,
now,
Chris
now
Cole.
I've seen one.
I saw Chris
Yeah,
Cole
so I
had it.
think the
didn't see it,
skaters
watched
are
it.
in there. I don't know if
Yeah.
Instagram's teeing that up and trying to do like big namers.
Yeah.
I think that's what
Skaters
they're doing.
always get it
You know,
first.
oh yeah.
I haven't put together Instagram videos since then.
Instagram's really cool. You should get a.
No, but I mean, I haven't like made my own little Insta,
Oh, I thought you did have
edit.
an
Where
Instagram.
normally sometimes you're trying to make it to 15 seconds and it can be hard. But it'd be nice if you could just stretch it out to 18.
Stretch it out to 18. Pause.
Wow.
I forgot what the question was. Before.
Just like the growth of BMX and like, do you guys?
See, I don't know. Like, I mean, obviously, there's no like real answer, but I think it's just about portraying it, making it look cool. And I mean, everyone has their own version of that, but I think it's important we all do that. We all like. Personally, I think what's cool about BMX is traveling and riding with your friends. So we're gonna promote that. And if you ride BMX, you could do this too, and maybe even with us. Like, and if you guys are into a certain thing, like just promote that. And if you think kids are into it, like, I just think it's about putting out stuff with like spirit behind it, like real shit. Just I don't know. Just if we're trying to portray something to be cool, like you need to feel that way too, and not just like putting shit out there to get it out there. But I don't know. I mean, hopefully kids just see what's happening and I don't know, take to it. Still, it's hard. I don't know. I don't have the answer.
I mean, I don't think it needs to grow. I think it's
Yeah.
already here. We're here. We're doing it. It's
Right.
being done. It's been done like this, and like everybody seems to say, "Oh, it was always shitty."
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's
It's
true.
like,
Yeah.
fuck, BMX is here.
Yeah, it's
Like,
almost like, well, what are we expecting? Are we expecting to be rich? Because we're not going to be.
We're
But
gonna
are
get
we
like a-
expecting
yeah,
to
bunch-
be able to create bikes and you know
Yeah.
be able to support riders and make
Yeah.
good stuff for customers? Like, yeah, I don't think that's.
I was hanging out with Matty Lawn the other day, and he was kind of asking me like about the state of the BMX industry because he's like super out of it now. And I was like, yeah, I feel bad when I think about like the new like super good riders that are coming out because like the money situation's kind of fucked up, and like a lot of those dudes might never be able to really make a living from riding. And he was like, yeah, but that was the same exact shit when I fucking first got sponsored or whatever too. He's like, think about it, like none of us ever thought about that back then. And I'm like, you're totally right that like nobody I knew on the East Coast then was ever thinking about like, oh, I need to
No,
be able
yeah,
to make a
that's-
living
that's like
from
a weird-
riding.
No,
Yeah, it's a weird
exactly.
standard. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, that's a weird way to look at it because, like, I don't think those guys, if they're looking at it like that, they're probably gonna have a hard time getting picked up because they're probably jerk
I think
offs.
your work ethic also dictates what happens to you, And I think both of you are great examples that, like, for you when it comes to riding, you have this work ethic where you want to get shit done. You have these goals, and you said it. Your whole story is fucking awesome. You grew up in a town. There was a BMX company. You started at the fucking bottom, and look at you now. And we've seen it with so many guys like that. And I think that a lot of guys that are watching this probably don't understand that, like, if you want something bad enough and you want to put the work in, you can make it happen. You know, BMX is so small that it's such a small community that, you know, this 18, 17-year-old kid that keeps coming over to Kink, yeah, we'll give him a shot, see what he's got, and you never stop busting your ass.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. I don't know. And I also think it is just fuck, I'm losing my train of thought here. But fuck.
Do you want me to?
That was
like,
me all
butt
the
in?
time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If it happens, I just start rambling.
Yeah, we all just.
But no, I mean,
Yeah.
you guys are a great example for a lot of people because
But you know what's crazy about it? It's like, yeah, you say we're busting our asses and shit, but like we're fucking not. We're just riding bikes. It's crazy. Like, yeah, like anybody in like a real, like if you put it into like the amount of hours you put in and all that bullshit, it's like, yeah, I should be making $120,000 a year. But like, let's be honest, like you don't do it for that. It's like because you're like, I can only do it now. My body's young. Fucking send it. Do it. Do your shit. And be proud later. Like that's it.
It's
like,
important as far as attracting new kids to have these guys like Dennis Anderson, for instance, is a good example of the kind of guy that's going to attract kids to like into BMX because he kind of transcends like the small bubble of like core BMX riding a little bit. He's in like Mercedes commercials and shit like that. And obviously, like,
Wow.
somebody just farted so loud.
It was shitty. He was sitting on the ground, so it was so loud. I've never had the podcast like disturbed by a fart like that. That was amazing.
You fucking
Also, I
pig.
made Catfish puke earlier by farting.
Adam farted in the weed jar, and I instantly puked just watching him do it.
So what is that? What is that strand? What's the name of that?
Chris, you can read it. Chris Long wrote this.
Fucking butt juice now.
AZZ is a faggot OG.
A22 is a.
Oh, A22? Oh my god. Tell Chris he needs
Chris Long,
to do that.
Shout out
homophobe,
to
yeah.
fucking misogynistic,
homophobic
racist,
fuck,
motherfucking homophobes.
Yeah, come on, we got to be
Okay,
all these
but
things.
back to what we were saying is
got pissed.
you being critical of me saying you bust your ass, and we didn't talk this at all.
Not even critical. But.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
just saying you're like, what I know about you that nobody else knows is that you've been working on something
Yeah.
for the last, I don't
Yeah.
know how long, year.
Yeah.
What have you been working on busting your ass for?
I mean, I've been out riding and just riding and filming for the Vans video. So that's one thing that's been heavy on my situation in California, as well as Kink Intervention that we did like 3 months of filming, I believe. So, you know, those
So
two.
you're gonna have a banger section in the Vans video. You've been going in for it.
There's going to be a lot of people with sections, which is pretty awesome.
That
but
is a big thing that I haven't
yeah.
really been thinking about that much.
yeah, and we had February last year through till March this year, so we had a year and a bit to work on the video. A lot of it was trip related, so you had to go on trips to film and whatnot. So it was tough for the riders, but seriously, like, yeah, everybody came through, and there's some really amazing.
What's the
riding.
release date for that?
June? So in Austin, it's going to be the world premiere.
Why are they doing it in Austin?
Because
A lot of bike riders in Austin.
exactly. Yep. And there'll be world premieres in every city in pretty much every country.
At all the
So,
Vans.
As far as I've been told, it's going to be the biggest BMX video release, I guess. So like
Really?
cool video. Yeah. Besides probably Rad.
Wow,
Which is
that's
pretty
that's
insane,
that's a
yeah.
big
Yeah. There's
a big
lot.
statement. Wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I heard you just finished your part the other day in Ventura. Is that right, Biz?
I can't remember.
Biz told me it was Ventura. I said, "Where is Calvin?" He said he's finishing his part in Ventura.
Yeah. Ventura is a beautiful city. Love it. It's good for riding.
You've been everywhere. I've been here for 5 years. I've been to like L.A., Long Beach,
Yeah.
and San Diego. That's it.
It's crazy. You've been
I've been to
everywhere.
Hollywood. Listen,
Yeah. No, you
you
got
want to come sit in for a second?
Shitty wants to sit in for a
Should
second.
you,
He's gonna come through.
ladies and gentlemen, this is
Swoop
Mr.
in.
Sean McIntosh. Sean,
How you
the
doing,
microphone
Sean?
is yours.
Aussie cunt, you
How are
know,
you, buddy?
He's a lovely fella. I love him. I always have.
This is J-Ro.
Oh god. Hang on. So you've been trying to get on the podcast for a while, right?
Well, I've never actually been on a podcast before. I've been standing outside holding signs saying no. You know what I mean?
These things happen.
Now I'm shitty 22, just coming in.
Shitty 22.
Get a question. You gotta ask him a brain burner.
So what's it like filming with Time Out? Is it hard?
Ty-Mo is an incredible human being,
He's
and
an
Ty,
amazing-
you still owe me money for the furniture that you have in your backyard.
I've seen it.
He has a lazy Susan, so you guys should go around to his
A
crib.
lazy Susan? A lazy Susan is in your kitchen.
Yeah. No, like in his
Lazy Susan.
outdoor furniture.
Yeah, it's weird. I can't explain it. You have to
Hang on a second. Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about.
See it to believe it. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Sean McIntosh. Be sure to check his podcast dropping January 2020.
Never.
It's gonna happen.
He's too scared.
I'm getting drunk to do it.
Nice, thank you. Drink
What kind of music
huff
you
some
guys
of that
like?
Paint. Huff paint.
I'm all over the place. Grew up on props rock, hardcore stuff, more rap these days a little bit. I don't know. I'm all over the place.
Yeah. Everything, I guess. A little bit of everything, but like started off in the little punk scene, just like the old punk. And then now
You
I'm
ever have a
into
butt
like
flap?
old fucking country music and shit, you know?
You ever wear a studded belt?
No.
No?
No, I didn't.
I've
I didn't wear a studded belt
before, for sure.
which is crazy. I thought I would. I never actually dressed the part.
Oh, okay.
I just like, I was like young and like, I think like the whole hardcore wave too was like, like it was there, but it never really hit me. It was kind of phasing out and I got into other music, like fucking older style shit.
I like the way you dress right now. What would you? How would you describe your
This is
outfit?
Adam's bisexual time.
Segment.
Well, this is just like a simple
Okay.
throw over denim and with a Western style shirt, you know?
Kind of like a pirate look.
You're a good-looking man. You're a good-looking man
Let's talk
with
about
an
that.
accent.
Appreciate
Listen,
that.
you're tall, you're good-looking, you got blonde hair, you got a mustache, you're a professional athlete.
I'm not though.
Let me finish.
Amateur athlete.
Let me. I got the questions here. What kind of American pussy are you pulling?
I can't even. What style? Or what do we
I mean,
Style
I want to
of
know the amount.
Let's be honest here. You got to really narrow it down.
What style of
I would like to know styles first, then amounts, and then viscosity and consistency of the liquid.
We've had
I
some
can't
Tinder
tell you
overlapping
that.
where like a girl will be like, "Do you know this guy Calvin?" Or he'll be like, "I heard some girl talking about."
Would you ever
That was a
double
while
team a
ago.
girl with Adam?
I don't know.
No, that's the wrong
Tall
answer.
threesome.
That's a tough one. It's a tough one.
Jesus, that really is an Eiffel Tower.
I'm super down. I feel like I
God.
know you well enough for that.
Yeah, it'll be.
Just
fine.
don't touch dicks.
No, that's
or touch dicks.
Yeah, rule number one. Stay
Well,
away.
that doesn't seem. I don't know. How the hell you just.
What do you think
touch
about
it?
California women?
Yeah, they're expensive bunch. You know,
Yeah.
they have like great attitudes towards life and money.
Do they?
And money.
Yeah.
Lots more.
I don't know. I think you're being
They're
facetious.
they're scary to handle.
Yeah.
I think you just want to stay away from them as much as you can. But
No.
you know, every man needs to have that time, and that time is like every
What's your type? What's your type of woman?
type of
I
woman.
see your range being very vast.
No,
I
not
see you go
vast.
for like a 41-year-old doctor, the fucking Panamera.
No, I'm pretty good. Like it
23-year-old.
usually sticks to like the same,
Yeah?
same style girl, and I don't know. But
What's that?
Tend
What's
to
that
dabble.
Style? What's that style? What's what? Blonde?
style, I mean, chicks with tattoos. I don't have tattoos. I have one, but you
Every
know,
Australian chick has
That's kinda
tattoos,
cool.
though. It's like a whole
They
thing.
do, yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole thing, right?
chicks with tattoos. I don't know why.
I like
Blonde
how you
hair,
say
preferably.
Tattoos.
I like the way he says it too. Yeah,
Nice
that's tight.
smile, nice eyes, good giggle when I make her laugh.
Really?
You know, I really get in depth with those things.
You're the boyfriend type?
I've been in serious relationships on and off, kind of like, yeah, yeah.
You a cheater or no?
BMX and like just trying to. Am I a cheater?
Yeah.
Like CEE, like an animal? Or-
No, like you cheat on your girlfriend. Is that why it's hard for you to be in a
No, I'm
relationship?
not a cheater. Like, and that's one thing. Like, when I'm in a relationship, I would never do that.
Okay.
And when I'm out of a relationship, or just like it's not official, then whatever.
You go hard.
You ever sleep with a married woman?
Have I?
Thought you
I
were
don't know.
saying
Neil
man.
Diamond has slept with many. He's my idol right there. So.
Neil Diamond's your idol. Holy
And he's
shit! I
slept
can
with so
see
many
that.
married women. He is an animal.
Really?
Yes, an absolute animal. He
It's
should
gotta
have
be
done
weird to
this.
be like a sex icon like
It's gotta
that.
be weird to have a last name Diamond and not be a rapper.
God, that's
Shine
tight.
bright like Neil Diamond. All right.
That is the lyric. Yeah.
But yeah.
Shit. What else should we cover here, boys? What's important that's been going on? We're at an hour 13.
What's your favorite movies?
Shit.
That's not important.
Intervention, safety first.
Not BMX movies, just like
No, but in
chilling.
Australia they
chilling
call them
movies.
movies.
Yeah, that's why I was like
I'm
confused.
thinking Australian
It's
over
like,
here.
fuck,
yeah.
it's a movie.
What inspires you, Cap? Is this question?
Don't steal my fucking questions.
The Shining's pretty fucking awesome.
That's a good movie.
I don't know.
Shining's a good movie. I'm glad Calvin's still on Kink.
Wow, let's tell that story real quick. So did you get a sponsor offer at some point? And tell us this little tale.
Is it true that you had a sponsor for a day?
For a day.
had a-
One day.
I did have a sponsor for a day. And,
Explain, please.
Yeah, I'll explain it as quick as I can.
No, take your time. We want to hear it.
I love
This is
this story.
respectable. This is a good story, and this is why this fucking man's awesome.
I heard this through the grapevine and I loved it. It was so funny, yeah.
It was a tough one. So basically, Ben Ward hit me up over at GT.
Yeah.
And
Good guy.
I was like on the fence because obviously I'm trying to like live in California comfortably.
Right.
And GT was offering me,
A bunch of money.
and like all these things and trying to sell everything, as every team manager does. And spoke with Ben and I said, look, I'm in Australia. When I come back, when you guys, because they're going to have a trip in Long Beach, California. And I was like, when you get in, I'll come hang out. We'll talk, whatever, see what you can have to offer. So basically, Ben offered me this stuff, and I hit Jay up, and I was like, hey, Ben's doing this. He wants to pay me that, Told him straight up, and I was like, can you guys keep me? Because I don't want to go, And Jay was basically like, well, the office doesn't want you to leave, and we can't do this and that, So I was like, fuck, Jay was pretty much like, to be perfectly honest, like, just fucking take it. You can't, he's
gotta
just
be
thinking,
real at a certain point, yeah.
Right.
He's like, yo, like, fuck, 2-year contract at that, you're gonna be good. And basically, I shook Ben's hand, and I was like, fucking, let's do it, man. Like, let's, fuck it, it's next step. Let's see how it goes. And went on a trip the next day.
Day 0.
Yeah, well, day 0. So this was a Friday, and then Saturday.
Day 0.
Saturday was like, all right, let's go out. And Kramus and Z were out shooting the whole thing for Ride.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of going. It was moving quick. And the rule with GT is like they got to wear helmets. You got to wear helmets, film, photo. And for me, that was definitely tough because I want to like look back on my stuff and see like. It's not that I just don't like wearing a helmet. I don't look right, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like you're in the streets and you're wearing a helmet, it just looks funny. So I was like just doubting myself, but I was like, you know what, fuck it. As soon as I start filming, I get one thing, I'm going to be fine. Like, it's just like, it's just another day in the park.
And nothing wrong with being a little bit safer.
Yeah, I mean,
why
I
not?
didn't feel any safer. I felt even like worse. I was
Really?
like, oh yeah, I can just fold my
you
head
got 2
now. Like,
pounds on your head when your
Yeah.
entire life you don't have 2 pounds on your head.
yeah, it felt weird, and it's like I was like, all right, whatever. So I filmed one thing, and I watched the clip, and I kind of giggled at myself. I was like, you fucking idiot. And I was like, all right, next one, next clip. And Kramus was like, kind of like, yeah, you sure you want to do this kind of thing? Like, you could see Kramus was like, this doesn't suit you, dude. Like, why are you doing it? And halfway through filming a line at this school, I was like, Kramus, I can't do it. And I was like, I can't wear a fucking helmet. And but you could, like, Ben was there, and I think he could see, like, it just wasn't working.
Yeah.
And Ben gave me a frame and stuff. I hadn't built up yet. He gave me a frame, so the next day, so Sunday morning, I rolled over to the house, and I was like, sorry, Ben, with the frame, handed it in and said, I can't do it. Like, this just doesn't suit me. It's just not my style of riding, and it's not like, it just wasn't a core team either for me.
Yeah.
Like, there was nothing wrong with, like, shout out to Brian for, like, teeing that all up and stuff, like, much respect, but it just didn't feel like what Kink has, and, like,
Right.
it was tough. It was like a reality check, like, hey, dude, just fucking just do what you do. Don't worry about trying to cash a fucking check.
Yeah.
And just stick with the team that you're with. And, like,
Yeah.
I called Jay that night. I think I messaged. I was like, "Hey, dude, can I come back?" Like, well, after a day, I
That's
was
the
like,
question: is how'd you feel when he was like, "Yo, I got to go do this"? Were you bummed, or was it kind of?
Yeah,
like,
I was bummed. I mean, everyone back in the office was bummed, and some of the team guys I knew early on, just because we all
They take you out the group chat.
Calvin's the man.
well, that was the thing. I said to Jay, I was like, "Hey, I'm going to tell all the boys right now." I told him, and literally an hour late, not even. I think I just said, "Hey, boys, like, I'm standing down, and I'm going to be riding for another company." And fucking sucked. There was like 20-something people in the group chat. It's like the whole
20-person group chat. I didn't
Yeah,
know you
we
guys.
had that blood, dude. We're like a real team, like for actual team.
It's pretty gnarly. And I was like, I felt super bad, and I was regretting it. I mean, Biz, you fucking you
Yeah, it was
heard
tough.
me, huh?
Like, I totally understood. Like,
sucked.
I get it. Like, I didn't want him to leave, but how you can't hold that against him.
Right.
Like, I told him, like, dude, we're gonna have your back and try to support you the best we can, but we can't do that right now.
Yeah.
So I was like, you gotta do what you gotta do. But when he was like, yo, that was ridiculous, I was basically just like, yeah, dude, let's forget that ever happened, and I'll talk to you soon. And like, no,
It's like
It
you get in a
was
fight with your girlfriend. You break up for a day. You get back together. It's all
Well,
good,
I
right?
mean, it wasn't even.
I mean, I was like happy for him. Like, dude, you fucking balling now.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. it's just
At the same time, we were like, Calvin's gonna have a helmet on. Like, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Not that wearing a helmet.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with wearing a helmet.
Right.
Like if that's your thing,
Nah,
do it. But
no,
like,
for
it's
sure.
Calvin.
But
Like,
for
we
some
know-
people, it just
we know Calvin.
Yeah.
yeah.
If you're not
Just
being
something-
yourself, it's got to, you ride your bike every day.
Just
It's
it
like,
felt like I sold my soul.
but you
literally.
only have to wear a helmet on trips if you're on GT. That's the only time I ever heard
Yeah,
of a
no,
company
No,
like
if
was
you
the
have
deal.
any photo, you can't post any
Yeah, but
photos
they
on
won't.
Instagram.
They won't use your Instagram stuff, and that's what it's come down to. And like,
I've never
I-
heard of a company doing this before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't. Even your Instagram pictures, all your pictures have
Yeah.
to have a helmet on.
yeah, it
Even
was
your Instagram. Wow, that's crazy.
it was tough.
BK does
man.
this?
It was tough.
God damn.
Yeah, but that's like he's got.
BK
do
needs
that,
to
you
wear
know,
a helmet.
He needs, yeah.
He should, yeah,
he
it's not
should be
bad.
wearing
Yeah,
a helmet
he
his
needs a
entire
helmet. He
life.
goes
We love you,
fast,
BK. You need to wear a motherfucking helmet.
Yeah. So yeah,
Jeez.
tough one.
That's a fucking wild ass story.
Yeah.
But also a cool story. It makes you sound like a good guy. So.
That's what I said. It was fucking that when we went out to lunch today. I was like, "Are you cool if we tell the story? Because I want people to know this. This is fucking a cool thing about your character."
Yeah, I mean there was like no harm done, and like I think on both ends with Ben and Jay, like I did it as professionally as I could. I thought.
B-Dubs
and,
could have
like,
hit me up, but it's all
Yeah.
good.
Ah, come on. That's it is what it is.
Yeah,
but,
I don't give a shit.
but yeah, and
So what do you got going on now? You wrapped up the
Instagram
Vans
and
video.
donuts.
yeah.
You wrapped up the Vans video. You're just working on 60-second Instagram videos.
Yeah, pretty much. Just been stacking clips of that. I figured it out. It's like 6 clips per fucking. So yeah, long lines. I'm actually going to go low and slow. I'm going to do it.
It's fun.
I'm going to do it.
You're
And
back.
it's
Well, thank
for-
you.
for a
You're
very
back.
good
Well,
reason.
thank you.
Guy.
Hey, and I put a free coaster on,
Did you?
but I took it off
Shut the
after
fuck up.
3 days.
Oh,
dude.
really?
But I liked it.
You are
I did it.
a
I did it.
nerd.
I
You're a
enjoyed
nerd.
it. I know, but the cassette's great. I love it. I think it's it's a part of
It's the way you
Dude,
ride.
the
Fucking
rollback.
loud.
Exactly.
Loud.
That's what
my
exactly.
problem. My biggest problem with the free coaster is that the rollback is dead, dude. The rollback, the classic BMX rollback.
You don't need
is
it. The-
Dead.
the seats
no
are
one gives a
duct
shit. You
taped
just-
to the frame
you just-
anyways.
You just slop that thing around now these days. That's all.
Yeah.
You just gotta get it around.
Like everybody actually
The-
almost gets the
the-
same
the-
with that
the
one,
rollback
just
was-
on the rollback.
Yeah.
because there's nothing you can do but just
Any
you
roll-
lose the style.
Every rollback looks wild now. Like any rollback counts. Like when you watch dudes
Yeah.
like 180 over a rail hop and they do like a 270, and then they just take
2
it
mile
around
an
a little.
hour.
Oh
It's
my
like-
god!
When you- The rollback-
up the front end to
The
get it around.
rollback used to be its own section of the fucking trick, and it had its own style, and everyone had their own way of doing it. And now it's just like a slop fest.
Have you guys noticed, like, with the free coaster, like when people do 360s now out of like ledges or like just a 360, they actually go backwards for a second. Like you go backwards, and it's like, what the fuck? You went backwards and then went forwards, and that's only with the free coaster. So
there's still
that's
dudes-
what I didn't like about it was that little backwards
There's
thing.
still
that
dudes
happens,
doing
but-
crazy shit with like Courage Adams, the stuff with his cassette. That
Yeah.
big stuff where you're going back so fast and like
Yeah,
even
Simone.
Simone's on
Simone.
it.
Yeah,
Simone
Simone's on
fucking
another
insane.
level.
Love it,
Look
yeah.
at like when Ben Hiddle was popping off. Like I mean,
Yeah.
the cassette is so classic, but obviously it's
Yeah, KP too.
I like both of
KP's
them.
got a
yeah,
lot
they're
of
both
that.
dope.
Yeah.
But
both
people,
dope.
free coaster's sick. I just think the rollback itself has died, but the free coasters are tight stuff.
Yeah,
I think Began has the most offensive free coaster rollouts. He can roll out of anything. He can land like 18 degrees and spin the whole cab.
He gets like a pump out of his
yeah,
slide.
exactly. I don't know how he does it.
Yeah, Began's got some good shit. That last thing he put out was pretty dope.
Fucking
Creative
wash
shit.
it at me.
I'm still in awe of Alex D's video.
that was
That was
insane.
Doneke's sick, yeah.
Jesus.
Oh my god.
Doneke's a perfect example of like modern day new techie kid, like using spots, using setups,
Yeah.
going big, like taking like nibby tricks and making them scary. Like
Yeah.
sometimes putting himself at risk. Like that shit's dope. You know, like
Yeah.
you need that stuff if you're gonna pile these video parts with like such techie stuff.
And I like Alex because it's simple spots that he's riding, and it's like kids can
He's
relate
got
to that.
good-
It's just
he's got good like spot selection and like he like films stuff with like taste. I think it's cool.
He's a helmet guy too.
Yep.
yeah.
You could have
No.
been there.
I know.
Could've been you.
Could have been cashing those checks.
Floral board shorts could have been you.
No, just wouldn't
What's your guys'
send me.
favorite porn?
Debbie does Dallas. I mean, that's a good one.
That's
and,
like the most famous one of all
Delirium.
time,
What's
right?
Delirium?
Mine's
What's wrong with
Around the
Delirium?
Girl in 80
Delirium.
Ways.
I don't know. My buddy had like a copy of Delirium, and like we'd just get drunk, and like when his girlfriend like went out, I suppose it like occasionally come on, and it just like randomly, I'm like, what the fuck is this? And he's like, it's Delirium, and I'm like, dude, come on, man. Shout out to Jordan.
You ever seen the 80 guy cum burrito?
No, 80.
That's
Yeah,
Savage.
80.
Bukaki.
We
Guys.
watched it again the other day.
I will throw up. I threw up when he farted in a fucking jar of weed. If I watched 80 guys come in a burrito, I will non-stop vomit.
Oh,
Only in
That's fucking
SoCal, huh?
disgusting.
there's a girl I was talking to, and she stopped talking to me because I Snapchat part of it, and she could hear me laughing. She's like, "The fact that you think that that's funny was so fucked up." I'm like, it was funny. It was
That's
hot
hot.
too.
It's
It
a
was
real
very
thing.
hot. Little did she know I had a boner. Yeah.
Shitty saying that's hot.
All right, what do we have to get out of the way? We got 5 minutes at most.
What does kink mean? What is the story behind
Dude,
the name?
Zach will hold it down. That really was just like a word he came up with. That's like a good word, and it was like easy to say.
Related to BMX,
Sure.
rails have kinks.
Yeah, and it's like
Rails have kinks. We're kinky.
Was Zach a smoker at all?
I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe Zach was just wild at the time. Like
Yeah.
you, like, might have known.
Yeah.
He was just,
He was just a
like
weird BMX creative
mid
guy.
90s
Yeah.
like kooky BMX guy. He like shot photos for Ride like early on.
Yeah.
And he worked for like Play or Case out
Yep.
of North Carolina. Like he has like deep roots in like real OG BMX.
Yeah, he's
shit.
been in the game forever.
But he's just a weird guy. I mean, now he's not so weird. He's more just like a normal guy now these days. But he's definitely had like a bizarre past in BMX as far as like his personality and like his like brands. It's like none of it really like makes any sense.
Yeah.
If you watch
His
old
work-
Kink commercials, like they're
Oh,
ridiculous.
some of the old kink commercials are
Yeah, from Props,
insane.
they're very
Yes.
That's him. That's just him.
That's his ideas.
Yeah, just him. Yeah, it's
Biz's
just, like,
favorite
it's
commercials.
Biz will tell us. Wasn't
yo-
there like a ramen noodle one?
So Jay, you've been at the TM for a long ass time. You are getting a little bit older. Do you see yourself doing this for like as long as you possibly can, or
I don't
like,
know.
Do
Yeah,
you,
I
do you
mean-
consider your expiration date with this stuff? Or?
Yeah, for sure. Because like, I just think it's important for people in my position to really to be like know what the hell is going on, and you need to be like
Right.
riding. You need to be on trips with people, finding spots with people, filming stuff yourself, filming other people. Like, you need to be in the mix. You know?
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I'm only 29 right now, so like I'm not stressing it right now. But yeah, I'm not going to be like 45 out here pretending that I like have the best mentality or best ideas.
I do.
Out, you know.
You are
I mean,
45.
And I have the best mentality out here.
But it's tough. Like things are changing so fast. Like even just a couple years ago, like I had like a little like fuck. I don't know if I can like keep up with this. I'm not like a nerd tech savvy guy that wants to be on the
Yeah.
internet all day. Like it's just like I'm still adapting too, like to try to stay with the times and like we'll see. I don't know. It's scary to think about, but I don't want to
Keep riding the wave, baby.
I just
Keep
been
riding
the wave.
Keep riding the wave.
till the wheels fall off like all the way. So
Yeah.
That's pancake
we'll
out there.
see.
Wow, I hope it is. All right, any thank yous that you guys want to throw out there?
Your Instagrams and your.
Follow us at Kink Bikes. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Kink BMX Snap. Stay tuned to Kink House stuff. We're dropping like April 20th through May 18th. We're going to be in San Diego hanging. Tell the come up bloggers to stop misspelling our riders' names all
Dan
the time.
Collier.
He is wrong every day, right?
Collier.
Collier.
I know.
I know.
It's not
Charlie
that hard
Crumlish
either.
and fucking Frenchie. Get it right.
If you type in Dan,
No, dude,
C-O,
Frenchie- no,
it'll-
not Frenchie.
Frenchie has very bad spelling.
Pat Quinn has
Pat
been
Quinn.
doing some good blogging
Yes.
lately.
Shout out to Pat
I would-
Quinn.
Shout out to Pat Quinn.
There you go.
Pat Quinn has been doing some good blogging.
Yeah.
Frenchie's on and off.
Spelling.
Frenchie. Australians. Fucking.
Yeah.
Crumlish,
French
you have
and
to be
French
like
knows.
super tight with Crumlish to get a good blog.
Yeah, when Carmos does drop in, or Scott, a lot of times they'll come through with like serious captions, but
I'm really good at
They're rare
captions,
with
but
it, yeah.
they kicked me out of the fucking caption game a while
Yeah,
ago.
it's tough.
you never had a
I need to
TCU
get back
login.
in.
You never had a.
No, I was in the group chat, and you never gave me the login.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with that. All right. Thank you guys very much for coming through. TCU TV, I know the sign was wrong for the first 12 minutes, but thank you very much for listening to the Kink episode. I'm wondering when we're going to get some Kink guys in here. Maybe we can get Tony Hamlin in here.
Fuck yeah, cream
Hey, you
pies.
guys, I mean, we're
God.
gonna, if I can convince anyone.
Hey,
to come
when the
up
guy,
here,
yeah,
let's
bring
do
him
that.
on
That'd
up
be
here.
tight.
That'd be
do a
amazing.
whole
Because
squad.
Tony Hamlin's a webisode star all of a sudden.
That's right,
So
yeah.
now he could be a podcast star as well. He's
Get him
adapting
up
to
here.
the future.
Get them
yeah.
all. Get Doyle up here. We need Doyle. Doyle coming out to this house?
He might be.
We'll get
We-
Doyle
there's a
here
lot
for
of
sure.
things.
For sure, we need Chris Doyle in here.
Try to get Sexton in here.
Yeah, that'd be sick. Let's do it. All right.
Gentlemen, thank you guys so much. You guys have been watching it. The Come Up TV, hashtag TCU TV.
Do your song.
My name's Catfish. This is Adam. We'll see you guys next time. Skibbity bop ba doo bop ba doo ba doo ba. The Come Up TV.
Faggot. What's up, dude? Sad, dude.